Jump into our call today. We're excited to have on the call a 2018 elite, top 10 elite coach, three-time elite coach. She's celebrating her 4-year anniversary this week. She is a success. I always have to be careful the way I say this. A Success Club 10 legend. I've been known to say it otherwise and get myself in trouble. This year, I think a great stat is she's helped 43 people who've submitted their results to the Beachbody Challenge. And that's what this business is all about, is helping people achieve results. Excited to have on the call today from Shawnee, Kansas, Superstar Diamond coach, Elite 10 coach, Ruth Schroner. Ruth, are you there?
I am. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you. I can see you, and it's going to be good. So welcome to the call, and congratulations on a lot of stuff. We get to go to France together this year. That's going to be pretty fun. And then, second to that is just everything that you've been able to accomplish this past year. Superstar Diamond coach, and just some remarkable things. So excited to have you on the call.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. And I want to actually give a shout out to Ashley and Allie, our newest Superstar Diamonds too. I've worked with those women, amazing, powerful women. So congrats, ladies.
Yeah, and to their teams, right? I mean, we all know this is a team. Yes. Is a team deal. Okay, so we're going to jump into this call. You've got some great content. And as I promoted this, we're getting a little bit of blurry on you, just so you know, Ruth, as you're moving. So I don't know if that's just our connection or what. So you don't need to grit your teeth or anything like that. Just I don't know if Sandy's getting that as well, but as you move, it feels like it's shifting a bit. So, but we can hear you just great. But really, the essence of this call to me is this concept of you can be successful in this business if other people don't believe in you, but you can't be successful in this business if you don't believe in yourself. It's got to start with that self-leadership, that self-belief. And I know that you've had a journey in that regard, and probably still a journey, right? There's never really a destination on that. As we continue to grow, we continue to expand. But we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But let's jump back 4 years ago and say, okay, how did Ruth become part of Team Beachbody?
4 years ago. Honestly, I'm not the same person now that I was 4 years ago. So the girl sitting here is very, very different. I would have never dreamed of getting on a video call and speaking to people about this or any topic, because I would have been terrified. I would have been too insecure to do that. So looking back 4 years ago, I had just gotten my master's degree in instructional design. Before that, I had been a teacher for about 3 years. I'm married to my husband, Ben, who is a veterinarian, and he was getting his residency certification at North Carolina State University. So on paper, you would look at us and you would think we had it all together. If you saw us on social media, you'd probably think the same thing. Two people with advanced degrees, they've got their life figured out. Behind the scenes, though, it was a very, very different story. I was pretty miserable and I didn't even know it. And now looking back, it's plain for me to see, but then I would get on social media, truly, and I would look at people's lives who I wanted, and I would just kind of hate them, to be honest, think negative things about them, stalk them in such a manner, even though I was hating them the whole time. But it was really just because I was so unhappy with my own life and with where my life was at. I thought I did all the things I was supposed to do. I got the degree. I was working hard in my degree. So why was I still feeling so unfulfilled and unsatisfied? And I was coming home every night after work and just being like, is this really it? Like, this is it? This is the rest of my life. And then on top of that, this unhappiness was protruding into my marriage, and I was taking it out on my husband and finding ways to blame him instead of really digging deep and asking myself, why do you feel this way? Why are you feeling like this? And so it was just the same cycle. And then to pile one thing on top of the next, we had about $250,000 in student loan debt alone, just in loan debt, $250,000 after our advanced degrees. And that was crushing me, because I was panicking, like, how are we ever going to pay this off, live comfortably? Even looking ahead, it just terrified me. These loans, and thinking like, oh, then we've got to buy a house at some point. And then what about kids? And it was just all like, we're never going to get ahead. In 5 years, I'm going to be worse off. We're going to be worse off. And we don't have kids yet. We didn't have kids then. But I was even finding myself being absolutely terrified of bringing kids into this world because of our financial situation, because of the person that I was, and just so much anxiety surrounding the future. And at the same point, I just did not like what I looked like in the mirror. And this is kind of where it started for me. I thought, if there's one thing I can control, let's at least try and get in control of my health and fitness and lose some weight. So I honestly started searching hashtags on Instagram, 21 Day Fix Results specifically. In that, I found my coach, Jessica, and I saw her with this video talking about the business opportunity that comes along with Beachbody. And I had previously done Insanity years and years ago. So I already knew how much I believed in Beachbody, even looking for a new program. And I thought, if I could earn, a few $100 a month while getting healthy and fit, why not? Because truly 10 years ago, I was telling people to get Insanity. Anyway, so I'm like, I was already doing it. So let's just put the two together, because I was looking for a part-time job to dig us out of our financial hole. And I thought to myself, I'll try this for 2 years. I'll do all the things. I'll work hard, and we'll just see what happens. Worst thing that could happen is I'll lose a little weight and get in better shape.
So as you share that, I'm sure there's a lot of coaches out there that are going, I feel some similar feelings. You've got a lot of things going. People on the outside may look and say, all dialed in. And let's be honest, life isn't always perfect as you're trying to figure stuff out. And I think that's really fair. So as a new coach, probably what I would take away from this is normal. The other couple takeaways that I would say as you listen to Ruth's story is this. One, she decided to start. This is a very simple concept, but she decided to start. And two, she also said, I'm going to give this, I'm holding up 3 fingers, but I'm going to give this 2 years, which means you give it enough opportunity to succeed. You give it enough time to learn what the business can really be and to give yourself results. If you think you're going to get results overnight, then let's just be honest right now, you're going to be disappointed. You've got to give it an opportunity to succeed. But so Ruth, let's take it from that point now and say, okay, so you jumped in, you made some decisions. There was I'm sure no certain just moment that made everything switch overnight. But looking back, were there some moments or a process where things started to take off for you? And why? And why, I guess, is the big question too.
Yep. Yeah. So kind of like you said, in the beginning, I came in with this realistic expectation of it's not going to build overnight. And I always say this, and it's so weird to say because I had super low expectations for what this business could become, but I had this super high work ethic. So I think the two, I was like, okay, I'm going to work super hard. And then hopefully I will be able to earn $200, $500 a month. Like that to me would have been great. Long-term, if I could just have matched my full-time income, $50,000 a year at the time, I would have been happy if I could do that after 2 to 4 years. But I knew it was going to take time to build. So with that, I also knew it was going to take doing all the things. And so I came in and I did the things. I did this trust fall, the new coach training, obviously that's provided to us is amazing when you apply it. And so I followed it. I started doing the 21 Day Fix, and I did it step by step. And at that same time, I shared my journey on social media. I didn't wait until the end and say, I'm going to wait till I have 21-day results. I shared it the moment the package came in the mail. I remember making this terrified selfie, and I had my dog, Michael, in the picture with me because I was like, oh, I'm posting a selfie, right? I was scared, just like anyone else. But I committed to this, to sharing that journey, to showing others over social media what you could do, talking to my friends about it, sharing, inviting them to join me, my family, to get healthy with me. I did it all from the beginning because I wanted to really honor the commitment I made to my husband and our future family. I told him, hey, I'm going to come home after work every night and I'm going to work on this business for 2 to 3 hours. And I wanted to honor that commitment and make it worth it. So I didn't get on my laptop at night to cruise Facebook or look at other people's posts. I didn't get on to watch a bunch of YouTube videos that I never applied. I got on to do the actual work that mattered from day one. That made all the difference in the world. Additionally, I'll never forget my ride or die bestie, Lisa. I was talking to her about this early on, and I was kind of feeling her out, like, what's she going to think if I tell her I'm doing this? Like, how's she going to respond? Like, I was like really nervous. And she said something to me I'll never forget, and that totally changed everything for me. She said, if you're going to do this, treat it like a business. And it just clicked. And I thought, okay, I'll treat it like a business. And instead of like tippy-toeing around the fact I had this business, and being like, well, I'm trying this thing, I'm dabbling in this thing, we're going to see like if this thing works. It was like, no, I've started an online business. I'm taking this seriously. I'm going to show up every day. And if anyone wants to join me, I'm doing this. I'm going. Who's coming with me? And I had to approach it like that. And for me, it just took the entire emotional aspect out of it. I was a business owner, not some like nothing else. So it was like, I'm going to show up and get rid of the fear, even though it was there. I was going to ignore the fear. I was going to ignore the naysayers and just say, I'm a business owner. I'm going to do this now. And I went all in, trusting the process and doing the vital behaviors. But honestly, there was a point in November of 2014 that really changed everything for me. And I think it's the reason that my business went from being, a good business I was hitting Success Club. I was earning a few $100s a month, going from that to a full-time income producing massive 6-figure business in a relatively, compared to other things out there, short period of time. Insert income disclaimer.
Insert.
But I had this moment where I learned to master my mindset. I learned to build self-confidence and self-love, and it played out in a very funny way for me. So it was November 2014. And you guys, honestly, I had just like rocked out my fitness journey thus far. I had an amazing transformation. For my heaviest weight, which was pre-Beachbody in college, I was down 50 pounds. I was a size 14 in college to being a size 0 in November 2014. And so like I had looked the best I'd ever looked in my life. I should have been super proud of myself. Just crazy, crazy results, a body that I thought I could never, ever have. And in this moment in November of 2014, I was doing my workout, and I had these extra small spandex shorts that I would wear. And these were the shorts that dictated my success in my mind. These shorts told me if I was fit enough, if I was good enough, all of the things, right? If I was skinny enough, that's the power that I gave to these spandex shorts. And one day after my workout, I was looking in the mirror and I was taking my selfies, post-workout selfie. And I said out loud, I'm fat. And it just stopped me in my tracks because I didn't want to be, I heard it. It's like I heard it for the first time. You say things inside your head, and I said it out loud. And I just remember like stopping and being like, what the heck? Like, what did I just say? And realizing how far and how much I'd changed my body. But then realizing at that same time, like I hadn't changed it at all. I might as well still have weighed 170 pounds. I might as well still have been a size 14 because I still hadn't changed internally and decided that I was enough, no matter shape, size, weight, any of that. And I just, honestly, I disgusted myself that day because I didn't want to be that person. And so that day I knew I had to take on the internal transformation. And I had to do this because here I was trying to help other women and men get fit and change their body and change their life. Okay? Change their life, not just their body, like their life. And I knew for that to happen, I had to change my life and what I thought to myself every day first. How was I going to tell someone else to love themselves, to believe that they're strong enough, powerful enough, beautiful enough, if I didn't think it for myself? And so I went on this journey to become the person I needed to be for myself, but also for everyone else who I was trying to influence and help every single day.
So that's a powerful story right there, Ruth, and pretty vulnerable. And my guess is a lot of people can relate to that. So I wanted to jump back to the business piece for just 1 second, because I think you made a point that's so critical for so many coaches when you said to treat this like a business. Then we're going to get into this real meaty piece, but you do need to develop a business mindset. And if other people if you want them to treat it like a business, how can they take you seriously if you don't have that mindset of treating it like a business? So if your anticipation is to build a business, you got to build it that way, because if you're dabbling, other people will just dabble. So I think that's so key. But okay, let's now get back into this piece of how you transformed your mindset. And I know you've got some certain tips that you want to share that help you move through that other coaches can apply. So take that away. Yeah,
I'm so excited to share this honestly with all of you today, because to me, this is like everything. This is everything to me. Before I kind of get into the pieces of this, though, I want to bring up two very important things to remember. The first one is, I want to preface this by saying, when I talk about self-love, I want you, for me, what it is, it's not something that enables me to stay the same. It's not something that enables me to skip my workout or to eat all the chocolate chip cookies or to forget about my health because I love myself. It's not something that allows me to just sit back and coast. Because I love myself, I am empowered, not enabled. And I think that's a very key thing to remember as I go through this. This is not just about loving yourself and allowing excuses and enabling because you're in this state of bliss. No, it's about empowering yourself to do more and be more and share more and influence other people every single day. That's what self-love has done for me. So it's really the value and the self-worth that I bring to the world because I found this self-love. So I think that's one thing to remember. The other thing, you're going to hear some things you've heard before, right? You're going to hear some things, some tips and tricks that you've heard before. But if you are not seeing the confidence and the results, and if you can't find the value in who you are today, then you're not applying these things. So I'm challenging you to set your intention for this call and find something that you are going to apply today. As I go through these are simple, you guys. Who's all doing 2B mindset with me right now? So I'm doing 2B mindset. I'm not going to lie. When I started 4 weeks ago, we heard about these sayings, right? These quotes that she had. And I was like, these are so simple. There's no way that these simple little quotes are going to work. But then a week in, I'm like, water first, veggies most, dinner and done. And it was working, right? So it's these simple concepts that when we actually take and apply, they work. So I want you to treat this the same way and think about this kind of like that 2B mindset journey of when you take these simple concepts, massive changes happen in your life. So I have 3 tips I want to share with you all today. I'm going to tell you what they are, then I'm going to go into it. So the first one that I had to do, I had to learn to throat punch my inner demons. I throat punched my inner demons. The second practice I did, I said, screw it to making my bed. Talk about that one. And my third practice every day was to imagine my idols ugly. So those are my 3 practices, and I'm going to go into the heart and soul of them very quickly with you.
Yeah. So Ruth, just from a process check, we've got about 7 minutes. So I'm going to just have you move just so you can time check yourself.
We are going to speed.
Love it.
Okay. So when I said that out loud about myself, I'm fat, it was like I heard it for the first time. And I realized I had all these inner demons that I was letting run my life, run my thought processes. So I had to make a conscious decision every single day to identify my inner demons and to fight back. So for me, it helped me to name my inner demon. So I named her Regina because it just made it more fun. Because let's be honest, this is kind of weird and it feels super, super, super funny arguing with yourself. But when I gave mine a name, Regina, it just kind of made it a little bit more fun for me. So anytime I would hear Regina pop up and say, oh, you're fat. Oh, you're not good enough. You can't do that. You're not capable. Everyone's going to laugh at you. I'd be like, shut up, Regina, and sit down. Because I'm about to show you what I am capable of. And I would fight back and I would tell myself reasons why I was capable. And this was super weird. It feels very odd, but especially in the beginning. But as I did it, I began to silence Regina. And even though she likes to pop up sometimes, I just throw a punch her right back down. So additionally with this, I started to look in the mirror every day and I started to identify things about my body that I loved no matter what. And so I'd put Post-its on my mirror and it would lift me up. I love my legs because they are strong. I love just different parts of my body. So I just started focusing on the different parts of my body every single day that I loved. And I would not allow myself to engage in negative self-talk ever. So that meant with my friends, when we got to dinner, you want to know what feels weird? It feels really weird when all your friends are sitting around talking about how much they don't like their body. And you're like, okay, sip a drink. But I would not allow myself to engage in that talk because it was taking me backwards. So I had to silence those inner demons and I had to lift myself up every day. And before too long, they were silenced and I just was growing my confidence. The next thing I had to do is I had to say, screw it to making my bed. So let me explain this. We have all heard about our morning process, right? That we should have a morning process to get us going each day. I hate mornings. And usually in those morning process, they're like, and make your bed. And I also hate making my bed. So I was like, defeated from the beginning. And I was like, how do I make this work? And I was getting caught up in trying to have this beautiful picture perfect. I get out of bed, I make my bed, I go do my morning affirmations. And it wasn't working because it wasn't working with me. And so I wasn't doing it and I wasn't doing it right. And so I made a deal with myself to just get a personal development process in place. Whether or not it was in the morning, get it done every day. So I just said, screw it to make my bed, screw it to this morning thing, but like I'm going to practice personal development and get this system in place daily so it lifts me up. This is huge and it's important. If you're not doing personal development, you need to do it. This is one of the things that I absolutely believe changed my business more than anything. And I'm going to tell you what my process looked like. So it didn't matter if it was a morning or night, I just did it. Do I think it helps in the morning? Absolutely. But if I didn't get it done in the morning, I'd do it at lunch. So my process looks like this. I do a prayer devotional. I write down my gratitude. I write down my affirmations. Then I listen to personal development. And I set my intention for the day on how I'm going to apply that personal development, not just like read it or listen to it, but how am I going to apply that personal development book to my business? So the biggest pieces in this for me are writing down my gratefulness, my gratitude daily, and my affirmations. I want to tell you very quickly how I do this. So I have this journal. I've had a journal like this for multiple years. I actually lost one in the airplane and someone out there thinks I'm insane. But in this journal, every day, I write down my gratitude for the day and I write down my affirmations. And so how I do this with my gratitude is I focus on multiple areas of life because it's so easy for me to just be negative. I like want to be negative. I just think that's human, right? Like I want to find all the things that are wrong in life instead of focusing on the positive things. So each day I write down things in my personal life, my family life that I'm grateful for, things in my challenge group, challengers who are like killing it or like liking and commenting on posts. I focus on them. I write their names in my book, coaches who are doing those same things. So that way every day I am focused on the positive things and it lifts me up. I feel so stinking good after doing this. The other piece that I think is super important are my affirmations. And so with my affirmations, how I write these, this took place in 2015 for me. I wrote out every single limiting belief that I had. Every single limiting belief that I had. You're not good enough. If you earn money in this business, people are going to think you're selfish, all those things. And then I rewrote those limiting beliefs into positive affirmations and I write them daily in my journal. So my statements have two parts. The first part is a daily action and the second part is the outcome of that action. So let me give you an example. One limiting belief was that if I earned income in this business, people would think I was greedy and I was selfish and bad. And so I took this and I made it into my positive affirmation. And I said, by sharing the story of my ever-growing success and income, I'm inspiring other men and women to take control of their lives and grow successful businesses with me. It's always in present tense. And I have written this for going on now 3 years, because this is my biggest demon. So I took all of my limiting beliefs though. So, what is someone going to think of me on social media if I post this? And I would rewrite it just in that form, writing the action I needed to take in the day, and then writing the outcome that action would give my life. And then the last thing, the last practice is imagining my idol ugly. I don't know about you guys, but I always just thought people who had success on a higher level, they were perfect. They had it all together every day. They just had this beautiful morning process. They did the hair, the makeup. And I was like, I am not that person, right? I'm like rushing and all these things. I'm just barely hanging on most days. And then I started to realize as I got to know people who had success that we were all the same. We're all hot messes behind the scenes, right? And so I started imagining all these successful people being stressed out, yelling at their husband, yelling at their kids, crying, feeling like failures, feeling like they can't do it, being absolutely terrified of their big dreams and goals. I would simply just imagine them ugly. And then when I did that, it would just be like, yeah, we're all the same. If these successful people are doing this behind the scenes, whether they are or not, which I am, you guys can imagine me like that, then it just made it more achievable that I could do it too. So those are my 3 tips. I'm sure I'm probably at that 7-minute mark, Jeff. Yes?
Well, we are at the 7-minute mark, but I think it's just powerful information, because I know that a lot of people, everybody struggles with self-doubt and self-confidence. You've got to fine tune it within yourself so that you can exude that to other people. I will acknowledge that I'm a little high-centered on the make your bed deal in the morning, because it's taken me forever to teach my kids to make beds, and like they're on this roll now. So I'm going to edit that out of, but if they listen to this, they're not going to hear that. I'm sorry. But so here's the key piece: as you look at what you've just talked about, and I love the process, and I love in particular, I love the daily action with the daily outcome, because there's a way of measuring that as well and visualizing of what that can look like. And then, how you, I'll use the words nobilized what you're doing with your actions. If it's in achieving income, what that does for other people, how that empowers them and creates opportunity for other people. And that's such a powerful piece to grasp, because then it does become something noble on this. So as you look at this, and again, we do have to wrap because we're over time, but as you look at all this, how is this then transformed into helping you change your life, your outcome, your output in your business to be where you are today? And we'll kind of wrap with that concept.
Yeah. Honestly, without what I just shared with you guys, I would not be where I am today with this business. Because of this business, we have financial freedom. We've paid off the debt, freedom of time with my husband. I get to see him whenever I want. We travel whenever we want. Because of the things I just talked about helped me build the confidence and belief in myself to then build this business and pay it forward. But one of the biggest things that I am so grateful for with Beachbody and this entire process is the mindset it has given me to live each day and live each day fully and in the best way possible. 2018, this year, has been one of the most challenging years for me on a personal level. But at the exact same time, it has been one of the happiest years of my life. So how cool is that? Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've looked at Ben and I have said, I'm so happy, or I love our life. He's probably so tired of me saying that this year, but I'm just in such this state of joy, even though behind the scenes, Ben and I have been trying to get pregnant for a year and a half now. We started fertility treatments in January, multiple failed fertility treatments. And this can be, and it has been, there have been days where it beats me down. And I have times where I struggle with this, but just because I have bad days or sad moments, it doesn't mean I have to live a sad life or a bad life and let it consume every area of my life. And 4 years ago, I would have allowed this fertility journey to completely control me and dictate my happiness. And I'm really proud and just, yeah, I'm just really proud of the progress I've made with my mindset, that I can sit here and tell you it's been the hardest struggle, but it's been the happiest year of my life. And I really honestly have so much of that to credit towards Beachbody and this opportunity and how it's allowed me to grow.
Well, I love that close, and it gives me the goosebumps as we sit here, Ruth, and you. I mean, obviously, you're the one that's doing the work. Beachbody is out there, and we've got this great company offering great things. But the most rewarding aspect of what we do is being with people and watching people grow themselves and kind of deal with the inner demons and overcome and become better and change their lives, and in turn, change their families' lives and so many other people's lives. And who gets to do that? I mean, seriously, who gets to do that? And it is a journey. And the fact that you're saying happiest and hardest, happiest and hardest, that's kind of the journey, for successful people. That's what it's paved with. But I just want to thank you so much for being so open and sharing some very concrete tips on this. And clearly, coaches, if you back up from this and you take what Ruth said, I shared at the beginning what she's accomplished from a business standpoint as well. So she's packaged all these pieces together and built this incredible business at the same time. So a lot of things going on there, but congratulations, Ruth, and thank you for being on the call.
Thank you.
All right. Well, coaches, we are over time, but to me, it was absolutely worth it. I know that some of the pieces, or a lot of the pieces that Ruth gave to you, are pieces you can say, I need to go do what she's doing. Now, I still hung up on make the bed right piece, but she's saying, do the pieces that work for you. I just want to come back, coaches, to the beginning of this call. There are a lot of things happening with Beachbody right now, with the 80-day obsession, with Lift, with Mesta Moss, with 2B Mindset. We're going into Summit. It requires clarity in your mind of what you want to accomplish. It requires an action plan and focus on those pieces. And just like Ruth shared today, it is the doing. It's in the action that it comes. So as you listen to this call, you're going to be working on yourself. At the same time, there's no other way. You have to be working on your business, but it's in that working that the clarity comes, that the answers are found. So if you want a little bit of what Ruth is talking about, being happy while you're doing hard things, then you got to be at it. So make today a day when you're sharing. Appreciate you being on this call. And Sandy, we'll toss it back to you.
Thanks, Jeff. And look what I got. I don't know if everybody can see it, but the app is live for me. Can you see it, Jeff?
I can see it. I'm getting vertigo as you shake it. Yeah, I'm seatbelting myself in. It's great.
All right. How many people think that Ruth needs her own water bottle with all her sayings on it? Because she is hysterical and also so good. And I have daily affirmations too. This is the one that is for today. How appropriate. What an incredible day today. So much information, so much to do today. Get started, everybody. So I'm going to get out of the way. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye.